At timestamp 0.
Yes, sir.
In 3, 2, 1, go. You know, Robert, I have to say, I think I've just become like addicted to doing these insane marathon like live streams.
Also, you're not doing 24-hour ones anymore, so it's like you've already done the most extreme version of this. So anything below that's just smooth sailing, easy.
Like I said, I was really relieved when Cap agreed to do the like 12 hours instead of 24.
Although you guys haven't done one in a while, I hope you have time to fit that in soon.
He said he was trying to bring it back. I think maybe next month.
Oh, cool.
I'm really been surprised. Just people like me on that channel, like that one guy. He found.
It's nice to get compliments.
Well, it's like I said, it's funny just because I naturally think of Austin being way better at this YouTube thing than I am.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy.
He is. I don't get why people don't like him. But no, I will definitely have to check out that Elementary show. It's kind of. I hope it's better than the just the synopsis sounds, where it's like, of course we have to gender bend Holmes so that there's a will they won't they.
Yeah,
Or not Holmes. Watson.
Watson. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but like if that show just still didn't do a romance angle and kept it platonic, like I think that's fine. But
there's no way they don't do that.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I also haven't seen it, but I don't see how there's any possible.
Stuff like if you show.
Well, and now we got Lonnie back. Here's the thing. We were talking about earlier about how when they almost gave him the redemption arc, but instead gave it to Steve. And speaking yourself as the biggest Steve lover here, that redemption is also a lot easier to sell, and that character has a lot less to atone for than Lonnie. Because what we get with him in this episode, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like it's people keep saying, "Oh, you know, Steve really became a good person." Like, maybe I'm just crazy. He was never terrible. Like,
yeah.
The show acts like he's a jerk, but even at the theater scene, I'm not going to defend what he did, but I think it's understandable when you look at it from his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Andrew, we appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you. And what we're going to get with Lonnie later, it's like, yeah, he's not here for altruistic reasons or to be a comforting ex. Like, no, he's pretty terrible. Like, at best, you get a last-minute redemption where he then dies. But the idea of him becoming, like, one of the main characters of the show, it's like, man, like, you really would have to spend your time and build to that redemption because, wow, this guy is awful.
Also, with just what we have, what they were going to have Steve do seems really out of left field.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, the worst part is it's like it's kind of a cliche, but I mean there's lots of people like this. Like unfortunately there are many terrible absentee parents.
Some people just shouldn't have kids, man.
That's true.
That's why I don't have kids. I am not parent material.
Have you heard of the comedian
of the tragedy of Dark Plagueis?
The comedian of the tragedy of Dark Plagueis? But no, have you heard of Mike Birbiglia?
I have not.
I've got to share some of his bits with you. I think you'd like that guy. He has one bit where he's talking about, he's like, yeah, I've lost a lot of good friends to kids. It's like this disease people have, and they want you to have it.
I am perfectly happy to be single, do my thing, work on our little pet project here.
That's a good outlook. Respect that.
I've seen too
Live your
many
best
people.
life.
I have seen too many people fall victim to the I've got to have a partner chase. I've got to have a partner. Well, that one didn't work out. Maybe the next one will work out.
I've seen too many people fall into just the bullshit drama where it's like, why is this consuming so much of your life? Like, oh my god.
You know what never lets you down? Your favorite TV shows.
Except when they do.
No, I said your favorite ones. If they're your favorite ones,
when
then
they're done. If they're in the past, then they don't let you down.
I don't think you could have a favorite show if it's not over yet, right? Like it could be like your favorite show on right now, but it's not your favorite show.
I guess it depends.
Like if somebody said House of the Dragon was their favorite show of all time, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, it's 2 seasons in. Kind of jumping the gun.
wait till it's over. Look at Game of Thrones. Wait till it's over.
Right. I will at least, and the reason why I'm less nervous about this with House of Dragon, at least House of Dragon has lore that's already finished. That stuff is already written and done.
Well, and
So
I've always said as much.
Run into that problem.
I've always said as much as it is those two creators' fault for wanting to run off and do Star Wars. It's also Martin's fault.
Yeah, he's a slow writer. Like, it is insane that
there's a difference between slow writing and you just don't want to do this anymore, but you're too chicken to admit you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you know this, when the last book comes out is when the show starts, and then we have the entire run of that show, and
it's
the next
been
book
longer
still
than that, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's been over 10 years. Like, it's been 13, I guess about 13 years since the last book came out and when the show. So it's like that show had an entire run without him being able to put another book out because he had all this other stuff he wanted to write and do.
Oh yeah, I guess he did put out a book in 2011. And like, not to be morbid, but are we sure he's gonna live long enough to finish them?
There's this one really funny article about like, no guys, he's fine. He's checked with doctors. He's good. He's gonna be here. And that was like 7 years ago. Like,
I don't know, man. At some point, it's just you don't want to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. I'm at this point not convinced he's gonna finish it.
I don't either. And I mean, I read the first couple books. I really like the first book, which makes sense because I also really like the first season of Game of Thrones, and then it loses me. What I like about the first book and the first movie is there's like that or first season is like that mystery of like, Ned's doing all this stuff, and you arguably have a main protagonist in Ned, and then the rest of the books just get bogged down in so much shit.
Mm-hmm.
I made it to book 3, and I was like, I could be reading something else. And I made it to, I think, season 4 or 5 of Game of Thrones, and I was like, why am I watching this still?
But earlier we were talking about like your favorite show. I guess an example though for me, and this is more of a comfort show category, is comfort shoe. Is I was big into SpongeBob growing up. Then I still love those first 3 seasons, and that show's not over. But I don't watch it. But I still think of it as one of my favorite shows because of those first 3 seasons. Although,
but that's also different. That's not a syndicated, or not a syndicated.
It's not a serialized
narrative.
Yeah, and also the original creator of that show left after season 3, and that's when most people agree is when the dip in quality started. So, in my defense, there is more of a tangible reason to look at those first 3 seasons as its own thing than other people taking over and keeping it going after. Like, it is different.
Yeah. I have Like my favorite shows from that era, like Danny Phantom and
Love Danny
Ben
Phantom.
10.
I want to get back to Danny Phantom. Like I know I've seen most of it. Like I know I've seen the series finale, but like I watched it when it was on. So like occasionally I'd miss an episode or I'd see an episode out of order. I just watched it on the whim of what I could see on TV. But I'm pretty sure I saw the series finale. But I would love to go back and just do that show start to finish. That show is great.
It's on Paramount Plus, I think.
Hmm.
Ben 10, I'm a big fan of. Although all of those shows I didn't watch religiously on TV because we've mentioned before, tied back to this, why I prefer the streaming model, because I am terrible at keeping up week to week. So those are shows that I went back and finished after the fact when they were on a streaming service. All 4 series of Ben 10. Not counting that reboot that was for babies, but I don't know if you've seen anything from that reboot, but I took one look at it and was like, nope.
Okay. So we just saw the scene that's cemented why Lonnie is the worst character in the show. It's because he told Jonathan to take down an Evil Dead poster and called it inappropriate. Fuck you, Lonnie.
Yeah, fuck you,
You're
Lonnie.
the worst person. You're the worst person in the show.
That movie is peak.
Yeah. Also, but it's so fascinating. Like, okay, like why did he say that? Like, what does he consider inappropriate? Because obviously, this is not the most model of like guy of family values or whatever. So it's like, what does he find offensive about that? Is it just because it's something Jonathan has? Like,
because it has the word dead in it?
Movies? Right. Like, I don't know. And I'm saying like as a compliment or like I found that interesting. It's like, okay, why? What does he find offensive about that? And I'm not sure, and I find that a little interesting. Because as we'll see, we'll never see Lonnie again, so we don't know a whole lot about him.
Yeah, who knows, folks? I like the melancholy of this episode.
Mm. Oh, is this when that there's a song I think that plays here that is really cool that I think was in one of the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailers. That's really effective. I think this might be the sequence, but I can't hear it because I got the audio. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, love this song. So yeah, this is not original score for the show. Like whatever this piece of music is from something from back in the day, but it's really cool. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Metal Gear Solid trailers. They're wonderful. They're usually just music videos, but they pick really good tracks. At least from
like who is that girl? Oh, Jennifer Hayes, apparently.
Oh yeah, it is funny. Like the minor like school classmate characters that just disappear or rotate. Yeah. I think that's a song from New Order. I think that's what that song is. Yeah, it's really good stuff. And it is such a funny, awkward funeral where the kids are like just not behaving because they're pretty sure at this point that Will's alive. So just a weird situation. And Joyce is like just a really good mom. I just really like this relationship.
It always weirds me out when parents like to actually take an interest in their kids' like interests.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Not speaking from personal experience or anything, but now my dad was pretty cool about that. We watched all of Avatar together, and I didn't think he'd like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
The good Avatar, not the blue people Avatar.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of. It's like, yeah, we just watched it like 6 months ago. It's a good father-son bonding moment.
I'd be a little creepy if I watched it within 6 months ago.
Oh no, like so I love this scene with Hopper just freaking out.
No, this is great.
You could take it out of context and tell me this is a scene from one of the Hangover movies.
This is totally a meme, right? Like,
Yeah. They're watching us, they're listening.
if
I don't know
this
if there's a
show
specific meme.
if this season happened a little bit later,
Yes.
this would be a meme.
I always love a good montage like this where you're thinking, God, this must have taken so many hours to shoot. Where it's like,
I'm just
okay,
thinking of all the work he's going to have to do after the fact.
No, this scene's great. It's just very chaotic and intense. It's all sweaty and nervous. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in another show, we'd be spending like 3 episodes on this one tiny subplot. Mm-hmm. That's definitely a trap some other Netflix shows have fallen into, where instead of set up and payoff, it's just mystery box, mystery box, mystery box, just building on each other instead of giving answers. You know, as you've seen in every episode of this show, it's like there's all these new mysteries, but they keep telling you stuff. Like you keep finding out new information. And this is when we're getting to our Nightmare on Elm Street portion with like some of the traps and weapons and stuff. Where I mean, literally named Nancy, not a subtle reference to Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's definitely kind of the dynamic they're going for. Except Johnny Depp in that movie did not give shit. He did not believe Nancy at all. But he's tired. Been a long day. Have you ever listened to the Red Letter Media commentary on that movie? Do you remember this? Oh, with like when he was almost an extra. Yeah, yeah. And talking to Jaguar. No, my favorite part of that is remember the scene when Nancy and Johnny Depp's character are on the bridge, like on campus over that pond, and like he's got his hamburger, and Mike is just complaining. He's like, "That's such an awkward place to eat. Like it might fall in the water. I don't want to. It makes me anxious. Why do you leave your food on the ledge of a railing on a bridge?" Got another take. This is just one of those Dustin's great scenes. This feels a lot less special after a decade now of, or not a decade, but like 5 years of so much multiverse stuff for Marvel and DC, where it feels just ruined. Yeah, it's a lot less mysterious. The Upside Down is a lot less mysterious and threatening, except now there's bats that we never saw early on. Mhm. No, I like this future. He's just excited about science. He knows his passion. Yeah. And he's like, guys, this is a great. I mean, I'm in the zone, man. Don't blow this for me. It is. It's also an Interstellar, but yeah, that is also an event. I I like that movie, but yeah, but yeah, that is. How much have you covered Event Horizon on the channel? Zero. I Is it one like you like? Like I don't. I have kind of a non-opinion on that movie, but like it's something I'd give another watch. I feel like the background of that movie. I love Sam Neill. That's a movie where I feel like the background around it is more interesting than the actual movie. Like, because you know about like all the stuff that they had to cut out, right? And all that footage is just gone. Oh, that's lame. And that just sucks when you have a situation where it's like, oh yeah, there's no extended cut and it will never exist. Probably. That's the worst. I, I was gonna say Paul Thomas Anderson, but I don't think that's right. Yeah, it is Paul W. S. This is how my brain works. My brain is like, okay, there's Paul Thomas Anderson, and then there's Paul W. S. Anderson, which reminds me of Wes Anderson. Wait, is that Wes Craven? Fuck, too many names. I can't keep all on track. No, this could be fun blind commentaries for me. I've heard the first couple are kind of watchable. I haven't seen any of them. I know they get real bad, but some people like the first couple. You've seen and you've seen all of them. Oh no! Is that the final chapter, or is there another one? What was? That's true. Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, what did you think was better, the reboot or the Netflix show that came out like 6 months later? I just remember that Netflix show came out. Everyone was just like, "What the fuck is this?" Oof. Oh no! But this is a great Dustin moment though, where it really solidifies like, no, he's not just the goofy one or like the charming one. Like, no, he's like probably the smartest of the group, and this is where he really gets to shine. Yay. Oh no. I can hear you. Yeah. Hold up. Let me.
Testing. There we
Keep
go. I
talking.
fixed it. It wasn't picking up my audio levels. Oh, I love this scene. Do that after the scene. See, this is why I don't understand why people say that he's an asshole in this season. Like, he immediately apologizes because he realizes he's being a dick.
No, this is a good Steve scene. And Steve's another character where we're going to get into this way later, but he's somebody who really resents his dad and doesn't want to be his dad.
No, yeah, definitely.
But I do think this scene is also conveying that, like, while he is trying his best, that these two just aren't syncing up right now. Where, I mean, Nancy's still being guarded and not telling him everything, but, like, she really wants to take action, and his feeling right now is, let's just see a movie, like, let's just relax and go. I mean, that's just not the mindset she's in. So there is a lack of communication here, but a believable lack of communication where it's like, yeah, these two people just aren't syncing up right now. And it's not his fault that he doesn't know what she's planning, but she's also just doesn't have the time or in the mood right now to explain, like, okay, so I've got all these guns, I'm getting all these weapons, I'm gonna go fucking hunting this faceless monster. Like, she doesn't know how to sell that to him right now. All she can do is just swing bat.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, so this is where we get to see what he's digging. We're going to see Robert's live reaction to the only scene I've seen past the pilot of the Resident Evil Netflix show.
Yep.
Robert's very scared, folks.
Oh boy. Does anybody have a gun?
No, that was just the greatest, like, you just all hope left your face.
It's like, I've never played a Resident Evil game. I'm very vaguely familiar with the franchise. It's just one of those clips you watch out of context. You're like, I don't know if this is what people wanted. But why?
And I never want to see the context because I think it'll ruin it.
Yep.
But anyway, back to them on being different wavelengths. I think that's true. What annoys me is he's trying and she's not.
Well, but she's just, like, not concerned about that relationship right now.
I know, but don't do my boy dirty like that.
She's got other priorities.
And I think that's why I'm more forgiving of what he does at the theater. Like, okay, I will hint at it here, but we'll get into it when that scene happens. She shuts him out completely. And then he sees her with another guy in her bedroom. Of course he's going to jump to conclusions.
Well, that's cool, but, like, slut shaming your girlfriend to the whole public, like, that's not That's not something you do to someone you claim you love, like, or that's pretty low and by far the worst thing he does in the show.
And I'm not saying that it's okay, but I think he gets way more flack for that than he should. Just in general.
I think he suffers adequately. Like, he gets comeuppance. And I think I sympathize more with where I'm sympathizing more with Jonathan is like, this is a scene where we kind of get into that. Yeah, Jonathan had a much more fucked up, like, Steve had a privileged childhood and a father who just kind of doesn't care about him. Jonathan had much more of a fucked up childhood. Like, he just talked about, like, how when he was a kid on his birthday, his dad took him shooting and made him kill a rabbit. And it's like, yeah, like, he's not, this is why Jonathan is a normal kid. Like,
yeah.
He's a little bit more fucked up.
No, for sure.
But I don't think at this point Nancy's being, like, deliberately cruel to Steve. She's just like, I'm just not in the mood for relationship stuff right now.
But then she needs to tell him, like, oh, I've got too much on my mind for this. It really feels like she's stringing him along at this point.
I don't feel that because this has all been over the course of, like, a couple days, you know? If she's ghosted him after, like, a couple weeks, that's different. But this is all happening in a very
says that he hasn't seen her in days. And you also have to remember, in high school time, days are like weeks.
It's a lot.
And think of it from his point of view. The last time that they talked, she was all over him. And then she gets mad at him because he doesn't want to get in trouble. He goes to apologize, and she blows him off.
I don't think she was being, like, overly mean in that scene. She was just like, okay, but I don't need this right now. But this Hopper scene's great. When he talks to his ex-wife.
It's the famous train. It's the Stephen King movie. Yes. I need to rewatch that movie. I only saw it once. But I have discovered that I love coming of age films. I watched that movie Edge of 17, I think it is, with Haley Steinfeld. That movie's great.
I love that movie. I love a lot of coming of age films.
I did not like Lady Bird, though. I found that one to be really insufferable.
Oh, I don't. I like that movie a lot. But, like, if you find that character annoying, you're not going to enjoy that movie. But I loved it.
Exactly. I know. I was like, lady, you need to have a reality check. But no, I love a good coming of age.
8th Grade's very good. The Bo.
I haven't seen that one yet. I liked that Olivia Wilde movie.
Oh, Booksmart, dude!
That was great.
Booksmart. That's easily one of the best comedies we've gotten in the last decade. That's a really.
And then she followed it up with that stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, might be one of the lamest things I've ever seen.
What are we talking about? What was the name of that?
I can't even remember now, but it's got Black Widow in it.
Yeah, Yelena, the Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh is great. She's in a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
But
she's in that new movie with Andrew Garfield that I want to see.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. That looked good. Yeah, no, dude, I love Booksmart. And I don't want to review or, like, criticize movies generally that I haven't seen, where if I haven't seen it for myself, like, I'm not going to have much of an opinion on it. But don't worry, darling, that was it. That's just a movie where, again, I'm sure it hurts hearing it out of context. But when I heard what the twist was, that just completely killed my interest in it. Mm-hmm. Where I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You've done this so many times.
It's it's just the Stepford Wives.
And I'm usually the one who doesn't harp on, like, oh, this reminds me too much. Like, we're talking about Stranger Things right now, a show that people have accused of being derivative.
It takes all of that stuff and does its own original thing.
But it's not just E.T. You know, it's not just Stand By Me or whatever.
What did you just say the name of that was?
Don't worry, darling.
It's just that one thing.
Yeah.
Well, and all the backstage drama.
Yeah, and then that stuff ends up being more interesting than the movie, but it also hurts my interest in the movie, where it's like, I just don't care.
I've seen it.
That's a
It's
shame.
not worth. It's not worth the time. Harry Styles can't act. He shouldn't be in movies.
I like Chris Pine though. We'll start for Chris Pine.
Forgot he was in that.
And Florence Pugh's good. She's in a lot of stuff now.
Yeah. I don't like Midsummer, but I like her in everything else I've seen. And I like her in Midsummer. Just that movie's so boring. So I think what bothers me with this whole storyline is this supposed to be, for lack of a better description, the Lifetime thing where she's dating the wrong guy and she gets to know the right guy through an adventure. But I don't think any of it works.
I like them together, but how we get there is clunky.
And the fact that he has the audacity to be mad at Steve for breaking his camera is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe not. Like, he has the right to be mad at his property, but to act like he doesn't deserve, like, that he
It's
didn't
like,
do.
yeah, no, that you deserve that. But yeah, we're teetering on CW drama, but
Well,
they're
and
both
like this
making
right
something
here, if anyone else talked to her like that, people would be pissed.
Yeah, but again, there is some truth to what he's saying though, where it's like you don't realize that you're acting probably exactly the same way your mom did when she was your age, and like the last thing you want to be is your mom. It's like you're following all the standard suburban girl.
Yeah, it's just, am I supposed to find that endearing? Like, I don't.
Not necessarily. Again, the way we get to that.
This is great. This is great.
Love this scene. Don't say anything. Don't listening.
Well, if I was Hopper, I would just take her out of the house and be like, "Come with me and talk." So I think this is where the season starts to drag a little bit for me because we have to get into that drama, like everyone's fighting.
Mm-hmm. This stuff with
especially the stuff
worked.
with the kids is really contrived.
Oh, I don't think it is, because like she's a kid. Like all she knows is that's the bad place, and I'm gonna lead them away from the bad place.
No, that's what I'm talking about is, I think it's this scene. I could be wrong. Lucas is gonna pick a fight with Mike. And she's gonna defend Mike because he's the only one that's nice to her. And they all act like she's a war criminal because she stood up for Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, she does nearly fucking kill him.
See, I don't remember it being that severe. Like, maybe a concussion, but...
Well, I mean, she doesn't intend to hurt him too badly, but no, like, if you're... Again, these are kids. I think they're behaving pretty realistically here. And the way she hurts him, you are...
I'll just see how it's played. We'll see.
And part of
this is more believable dramas. They're mad at her for kind of like throwing them off trail. And I think it wouldn't be as annoying as if like 2 out of the 3 groups weren't doing the exact same thing, where now is the obligatory they're arguing with each other. Just do one group.
Like I like all the Hopper stuff in this episode, but yeah, if we were maybe when we're done with this whole thing, we'll do an episode ranking. This is an episode I could see ranking pretty low for me.
Yeah.
Again, it's not bad. It's just like
I also it's weird with this season. As much as we praise this for being like so tight, I miss some of the other character dynamics that they bring in with the other characters, like Max, and obviously Steve isn't quite as interesting as he is in 2 and 3. And I'm just saying, Steve should have kept that baseball bat with the nails. Like, it's iconic at this point, and he doesn't have it again after season 2.
Yeah, the axe is pretty cool. In season 4, and realistically, like that thing when it lasts, once you hit a Demogorgon with it a few times, like that thing's falling apart.
You just reinforce it.
They could do it. Maybe in the final season they'll do a new nail bat.
I would be shocked if they don't have like a bunch of callbacks to season 1.
Oh yeah, I mean I hope they don't overdo it. But they could. Though I did pick up an early. I really hope he doesn't get it by then, but I don't think he would. I picked up an early Christmas gift that I'm setting aside for my friend who, like you, is the world's biggest Steve fan. And I found the Steve Funko Pop from season 2 with the sunglasses and the baseball bat.
I think this might be the worst of it. Like, I don't get why Mike is so defensive of her. It can't just be a crush.
I think he's really projecting and because it's taking his relationship with Will and putting that onto 11. That's part of his grieving process. It's like you're filling that room. And I mean, to be fair, Mike did just escalate this fight.
See,
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! That's
okay. That is worse than I remember.
That's a big throw. And it's first sight, you're like, oh, that kid's dead. If this was a James Gunn movie, his head would be peeling off of the side of that.
I don't know. Like, it's worse than I remember, but he's also not with that much force.
Yeah, no, but that
might also just be
situation.
That might also just be the wire work. Like, it's probably supposed to be intended to be a little harder than it was.
Yeah,
but they don't want to hurt the kid.
Yeah, and if you're Lucas in that situation, like that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, you're getting the fuck out of there.
Isn't it? Don't in season 4 they like CGI Billy Bobby Brown to look like this again for these moments? Or am I misremembering?
When they do the flashbacks with her as a little kid, they deep fake her face onto the.
Can we stop doing that?
Sometimes it works and sometimes it's noticeable. You could have just recast. Like, I can't say it was necessary, but sometimes it looks good.
I don't understand why we have to do that. We went for decades with, yes, we understand that this is the same character, just younger.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool when they pull it off. The problem is they don't always pull it off. So. Yeah, it's just a bit unnecessary.
Damn, I forgot how long X-Men Origins is. They're still going.
It's a weird movie. And how do you feel about this? Like, for a lot of people, season 3 of the show is where we jump the shark when we do all the Russian stuff, but like that stuff is set up here.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with it.
But
I think the weird thing is more so. No, it is definitely more lighthearted, but it also gets really dark. Like, we don't talk about enough about the fact that Steve is tortured.
Yeah, it's like the Temple of Doom of Stranger Things season, where it's both the goofiest and weirdest, but like also the darkest and bloodiest.
No, like I said, it's my favorite season.
There's some fucked up shit in that season,
but I think it's more so it has the highest highs and some low lows, but I don't think it has the lowest of lows.
But I mean, you also get some pretty gnarly body horror that season. It's like, Jesus.
Well, and I really like Billy's stuff in that season.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, Billy for me went from being one of the kind of lesser elements of season 2, even though I like that actor, and then season 3 they give him a much more interesting arc.
I like him in the fact that he is the mirror to Steve.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't do anything with it to like the finale, or not the finale, but like towards the end, where they fight and Steve. That is an excuse so Steve can get beat up because he gets cheap shotted.
which is what Billy would do.
No, and it's funny because I saw Power Rangers before this, so whenever I watch that, it's just that's the kid from Power Rangers to me.
He's not. The one thing everyone said about that movie when it came out is that the cast is really good.
No, the
They're all
cast is
promising
great.
actors.
The only problem with that movie is that you get to the third act and it's almost scared to do Power Ranger stuff. I don't hate that movie. It's fine. The suits are god awful, but like I think the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers suits are like perfect. You didn't need to tamper with them. Especially in a post MCU world. You could just put those on screen, people wouldn't care. This is a scene that I've seen a lot lately. God of War does this.
Oh, I was thinking of Talk to Me with the kangaroo that they almost put down.
God, is it sad that I don't remember that?
It's
I've
early
seen that
on.
movie twice.
The main girl and the one girl's little brother, like they don't hit, but they see a kangaroo that's been hit, and she can't bring herself to put it down and just drives away. It's a pretty early part of the movie.
Pretty good movie.
I like the movie. That's got a couple really gnarly scenes.
Mm-hmm. Noah and I reviewed that, I think.
Good. Yeah, well, I was on for your top 5 and bottom 5 of the year, and that one was pretty high.
Oh, yeah,
For me.
yeah. I don't remember if that made mine or not. It should have.
I love old weird flashlights. That's something I always like singling out for some reason. Just
I
like the
really,
weird older flashlight designs. Kind of something nostalgic about it.
I love binoculars for some reason.
Mm.
I don't know what it is. Oh, apparently we're getting in a violent nature too. Yay!
That doesn't seem like a movie that needs a sequel, but all right. I still see it.
I really did not like that first one.
It didn't seem like. I mean, I haven't seen it, but it didn't seem like a movie you would like. Though I've heard there's a standout kill in it.
So it has kills that I have never seen in a movie before. At least a couple of them. Those are great. The rest of it explains why you don't make a movie that follows the slasher.
I think just like as an experiment, I think it's interesting.
It was an interesting failed experiment.
I haven't seen it.
It'd be like, that's like making a movie where instead of the kids, we follow Jason. You know why you don't follow Jason? Because he walks around in the woods for a lot, but for the whole time. It's just a guy walking around in the woods.
Hey, Jason Voorhees has lived a tough life. He's like the Johnny Cash of slasher killers, okay?
It's true.
He's got some interesting stories to tell.
I have made it to 27 2024 movies.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but I look at some of them and I'm like, why did I watch that?
I've seen at least 10, maybe more.
I've seen 2 out of the 3 Crisis movies.
Ooh.
And neither of them are very good.
Not excited to.
Although we talked about this before, Crisis Part 2 has my new favorite Batman line.
Damn it.
Dick starts giving him shit. He's like, I was right to leave your counterpart at the orphanage. Like, what the fuck? Why are you so mean all of a sudden?
It's also like, you could have hypothetically raised him and also not done the Robin stuff, right? Like, Alfred could have taken. No, I dropped him off of the orphanage. I didn't look at him.
Well, and I don't understand why that Batman is all of a sudden like so anti-Robin. Like, there's multiple scenes about it. And Batman Beyond's there just to fight with him.
and gets like 2 lines.
I like that Nancy's the one that goes into the upside down.
Yeah. It's also a scene where I'm like screaming at the TV, like, don't go in there.
Don't go into the long grass. All right, that was episode 5. Robert, we're making some good time here.